Ocean pollution is a big problem. It causes harm not only to marine life, but also to us. We can get illnesses from polluted waters like gastroenteritis or other minor illnesses associated with swimming, including ear, nose, eye, and throat infections. In highly polluted water, people can get more serious diseases like dysentery, hepatitis, and cholera, and also typhoid fever. Plastic is the #1 trash found in the ocean that can be choked or entangle on marine life. Over 220 million tons of plastic are produced a year, with plastic debris that can cause deaths of more than 100,000 marine animals a year.
As Heal the Bay, an organization dedicated to cleaning our beaches, says on their website, when the plastic debris hits the water, it can accumulate other chemicals and toxins like PVCs. Although there needs to be more research on this topic, these chemicals may accumulate on the flesh of fish when they mistake plastic for food. And what if those chemicals were to end up on our dinner plates? Caldwell Beach in Santa Clara County is the second most polluted beach in California, the other 9 being in Orange County and Los Angeles. A lot of pollution is a result of malfunctions in wastewater treatment plants. A study done in 2008 tested 90 beaches in the Bay Area taking water samples. 40% of those water samples violated the federal health standards. In LA it was 20% and in San Francisco it was 30%. The excess nutrients from sewage outfalls and agricultural runoff have contributed to the number of low oxygen areas known as dead zones, where most marine life cannot survive, resulting in the collapse of some ecosystems. The oil spills also contribute to the pollution in the ocean. The oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico is still recognized as the worst one in U.S. history. Louisiana has the highest number of dead birds collected covered in oil in 2011.
This turtle is among the victims of the Gulf oil spill. It is one of more than 300 turtles that the Oceana Conservation Organization says has been found dead or injured since the spill began April 20th. John Hewitt of the Audubon Aquarium of the Americas in New Orleans says his group has been able to clean and recover only 16 turtles.
So life is hard out there for sea turtles ordinarily. It's getting harder by the day.
5 species of sea turtles nest and spend part of their lives in the Gulf of Mexico, and 3 of them are either threatened or endangered. Hewitt says bottlenose dolphins are also among the casualties. His aquarium is treating 10 of them, and he says he is also concerned about a large colony of manatees off Florida's Gulf Coast. Birds are dying in large numbers. Several islands in the Gulf serve as wildlife refuges for some 3,400 birds, and veterinarian Joe Smith But the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo says conditions could get a lot worse.
Louisiana's Coastal Wetlands serve as habitat for an estimated 1.8 million migratory waterfowl.
Smith says migrating species use the islands as rest stops in the spring and fall. He says rescue workers have treated more than 1,000 birds, and each bird takes about an hour to clean. More than half have died.
Just recently removed from the endangered species list, nearly half of the brown pelicans in the southeastern U.S. nest on barrier islands in the Gulf.
Smith told reporters recently in Washington that many animals will never fully recover and will be relocated at zoos throughout the country.
Long-term consequences of oiling include immunosuppression, which predisposes these birds to secondary infections and diseases. Long-term survivability studies are often lacking, and the effects on future reproduction are relatively unknown.
The oil also threatens Louisiana's marshes, home to hundreds of species, nutrients and small organisms that feed fisheries and larger animals. Traces of the oil are reported several kilometers into the marsh area. Paul Boyle is the senior vice president of the U.S. Association of Zoos and Aquariums.
So these marshes, especially in the south where they're so extensive, are tremendously productive areas. So many organisms spend part of their larval life in marshes. So the effects on those marshes beyond the wildlife are devastating as well and will last for a long time.
And in the Gulf waters, where tens of thousands of barrels of oil continue to spill daily, great extensions of deep-sea corals rest in silence. Some are 4,000 years old. Nobody knows yet what will happen to them in the worst environmental disaster in the U.S. For producer Zulima Palacio, Elizabeth Lee, VOA News.